This song is called Alice's Restaurant. It's about Alice and the restaurant. But Alice's Restaurant is not the name of the restaurant, that's just the name of the song.
My mission is that I want to change the world. I think you can change the world by really considering the food that you eat. Can I start in a better way?
No, it was perfect.
Essen. Ist das noch Essen? Wir im alten Europa haben Essen längst zur Gunst erhoben. Die größten Köche zaubern mit delikaten Zutaten etwas herbei, das uns für einen Moment die Welt vergessen lässt. Verschiedenste Aromen, Düfte, der Geschmack, farbliche Kompositionen wie Gemälde, Desserts wie Skulpturen. Das ist kein Essen mehr, das ist wahre Kunst. Willkommen in Amerika, dem Land der überlangen Limousinen, dem Land der übergroßen Feuerwehrautos, dem Land des übermäßigen Konsums. Willkommen in der Heimat des Hamburger. Chez Panis in Berkeley bei San Francisco.
Oh my goodness, a camera and everything.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Sylvan.
Pete. Oh, Pete,
Yes.
very good to meet you. This is the downstairs restaurant, which is the original space.
Yes.
And here we are in the kitchen.
Laut der Feinschmecker-Zeitschrift Gourmet soll das Restaurant der Alice Waters schlichtweg das Beste der Vereinigten Staaten sein.
And this is Alice's desk.
Namhafte Amerikaner zogen schon in das kalifornische Mekka der Bioküche. Aha, sogar die Clintons waren schon hier.
Well, I like to talk about a peach because it's something that everybody likes. Everybody loves peaches. And so if I'm going to try to capture their attention, I give them something that's familiar. And then to have something that tastes so much more interesting than the peach that they normally get brings them into the whole experience of eating it. I think it does symbolize what I'm trying to get at. I'm trying to wake up people's taste buds. I'm trying to surprise them. They think they want the peach tart with the peach ice cream and all the layers of kind of sugar and pastry and a kind of richness to a dessert. But when they eat a bite of this, it's completely satisfying. In fact, it's very juicy.
Tasty?
It's really tasty. Really tasty. Show the tomatoes.
Open it up a little bit more. Okay.
I think the tomatoes are really good now.
Well, they always are in September.
Yeah, they seem better than
If we
when
can
I
just
left.
wait long enough.
Right. Oh, that one's nice too.
Cheese is good.
Yeah. That one hurt.
But sometimes it's your obligation not to taste.
Do you like the new dough?
What?
Do you
I
like
do.
this new?
It's much better.
It works
What do you think?
En fait, on cuisine presque pas. C'est le produit. Le produit passe avant. En fait, le produit remplace le chef. On pourrait presque avoir un restaurant sans chef et juste traiter le produit au minimum.
Do you make this sometime with a little drizzle of mayonnaise?
Mayonnaise.
Alice is a pioneer. Alice has had a tremendous impact on American eating habits, on the way we think about food, on American cuisine. She's an historical figure. I think that, and operating essentially from one restaurant in a relatively small city in America. I came from New York. I just moved here from New York, and she's very well known in that world. She's trained a generation of chefs. She's also made the connection in this country between pleasure of food and the politics of food.
Hand me my coffee.
Alice Waters soll in San Francisco eine große Rede halten.
I am never getting tired of talking from the morning till the evening about food. And still there's a little bit more than that in the world. Although it's important.
Well, what's more important? What is more important? Nothing. It's the one thing that we all have in common. And it's the one thing we absolutely must do every day to survive, or every 2 days, or whatever it is. And so it's of primary importance at the moment, because the decisions that people are making about food are destroying the world for all of us. So we have to learn to pay attention. And that's why I'm so determined. It's not just a little decision about your own likes and dislikes and about your own personal health. It's about my future for my children, the kinds of decisions you make about what you eat.
So, explain me this thing with the tomatoes. You're bringing these tomatoes to feel comfortable?
I usually speak in farmers markets. I just feel like very often in hotels and big conference halls, and there's nothing real there, and it's so hard to have. I mean, it's a little bit of a prop for me, even if I can't set it on the counter where I'm speaking. I mean, it can just be right in front of me.
Es ist der Verband der Innenarchitekten, der sie eingeladen hat. Für alle 500 Gäste hat man ihr Buch gekauft. Und auf die Konten ihrer Stiftung fließen zusätzliche $30.000.
Thank you, Kathy. Really nice. I brought these little vegetables up on the stage here so that I felt like that I'm at a farmer's market. In fact, people ask, what is the connection between interior design and your passion for changes? And I said, I think it's beauty. So what we're calling for is a revolution in public education. A delicious revolution. A delicious revolution. This isn't hard to do. And when the hearts and the minds of our children are captured by this, sustainability will be that lens through which they all see this world. So I thank you for this opportunity.
And I was going to look up the...
Hello, I really enjoyed your talk.
Very inspiring. Thank you so much.
You're just inspirational. Thank you.
Very inspiring. It was wonderful.
My
Don't you want your tomatoes back?
Of course.
Don't I want to take my tomatoes? Yes, I do. Grab my tomatoes. Grab my tomatoes. Okay.
What beautifully chosen tomatoes.
Don't you think so?
Such a good job.
Alice, do you have any idea what's happening to all the food that wasn't eaten here?
Well, I was thinking about that as they were carrying it out. And I hope they're feeding it to the staff or the homeless, because we have a big program to feed the homeless in San Francisco. But I'm not sure where that food is. And it made me think about it as they were carrying those beautiful grapes. So, shall we go?
Well, the Iceman's mule is parked outside the bar, where a man with missing fingers plays a strange guitar, and a German dwarf dances with the butcher's son. And tonight a little rain never hurt no one. Well, they're dancing on the roof, and the ceiling's coming down, and I sleep with my shovel and my leather gloves, and a little trouble makes it worth the going, and a little rain never hurt no one. Oh, the world is round, and I'll go around. You must risk something that matters.
Getreu dem Motto, das Volk braucht Brot und Spiele, führte Präsident Nixon in den 70er Jahren eine Agrarreform durch. Seine Subventionspolitik, die Lebensmittel billig halten sollte, führte zu einer extremen Industrialisierung der Landwirtschaft. Getreide, Mais und vor allem Fleisch aus Massentierhaltung wurden billiger. Davon profitiert hat vor allem die Fastfood-Industrie. Wussten Sie, dass McDonald's der größte Verbraucher von Rind- und Schweinefleisch ist? Vielleicht nicht besonders gesund, aber das billigste Essen, das es in Amerika gibt.
You know, fast food makes money. All their money is made on the soda. They don't make money on the burgers. They don't make money on the French fries. The idea is to get you in there, get you thirsty, so you'll buy sodas. And the profit margins on sodas are immense. And the reason they're so immense is that the sweetener, which is the main ingredient, is dirt cheap. Why is the sweetener so dirt cheap? Because we have too much corn. Why do we have too much corn? Because the government is writing a check to farmers to produce every bushel of it. So you can blame McDonald's, but I think you've got to look further, and you've got to look at a set of policy choices we've made and that we can unmake. We could, you know, our government, and it's true of every government, sets the rules of the game in food, and they could be written in a very different way.
Good morning.
Gilbert ist der Manager von Chez Panisse. Dass er höchstpersönlich einkauft, hat einen Grund. Es wird ein ganz besonderes Essen geben.
Then we got those black. These are the black cod.
And this might be too.
They're
fatty.
oily.
They're
Yeah,
oily.
it's one of the
so
things.
that might not work.
Yeah.
We're doing a lunch for Slow Food International today, and we want to make sure that everything that we use today is local. I mean, very, very local. And at the restaurant, sometimes we do use things that come from the East Coast, and but today we want to do things that come only from the West Coast.
Slow Food ist eine internationale Bewegung und kämpft gegen die Globalisierung der Fastfood-Konzerne.
It's called a stupid fish. and it was caught right outside the Golden Gate. And apparently they put out baskets. And the fish go into the baskets. And they just stay there. and they just pick up the baskets and bring them in.
Die reale Welt draußen. Und das auf dem Bänkchen direkt vor Alice Waters Esstempel.
Und ist die Lage wirklich so katastrophal?
Wir haben die Lage so definiert als einen Zug, der ohne Lokführer immer schneller fährt und irgendjemand muss einmal aufstehen und auf der Notbremse ziehen und sagen, Moment mal, wohin führt das Ganze? Und das hat nicht nur mit Fast Food, sondern überhaupt mit Fast Life zu tun. Also wir müssen wieder den richtigen Rhythmus finden. Ich glaube, die Menschen haben nie so viel Freizeit gehabt wie heute und sie waren aber noch nicht so gestresst. Also irgendetwas läuft falsch.
Welche Rolle spielt denn Alice Waters in diese ganzen?
Eine große Figur, nicht nur in Amerika, sondern auf der ganzen Welt. Und wir sind überglücklich, dass sie erstens einmal so eine militante Slow-Fooderin ist und dass sie auch nicht nur als Alibi-Figur in der Bewegung ist, sondern dass sie wirklich, also mit der Edible Garden, mit alle diese Projekte, dass sie wirklich in die Praxis unsere Philosophie auch umsetzt.
You also said that it's so important, and it's also part of the slow food philosophy to use local products.
Yes. Well, I mean, when you're talking about ecology, I mean, you certainly are considering how much energy it takes to move food around this world. I mean, it's we did a study about that, how far food travels, and it's kind of amazing that it can go from this country to Europe and back, and you know, that's a lot of energy, and so we're interested in buying food that is locally produced, but also for the reasons of getting to know the people who produce that food. It's about freshness, but it's also about, you know, a big picture of ecology.
In this matter, I was very surprised to see that in Chepanis that you are using Italian mineral water.
Well, that's a very sad story. I mean, there are several things that we are using that I wish we were not, for all those ecological reasons. We have been struggling with this idea because, very strangely, water from Italy costs less than water in the United States.
You're in the San Francisco Farmers Market where all your health aid, all your beauty aids are here. If you've been up all night partying, you might want to get a bottle of our Bladder Gladder. Yes, indeed. Yeah. Stay up all night, party all night, but you need a bottle of my Bladder Gladder. Feel refreshed. Thank you. Run deep for cold. All right. Run deep for too chill.
Really deep now.
Really deep.
Oh, so cold.
Yes. You're in the San Francisco Farmers Market. We're going to sign a contract soon. All right. None of the vegetables, anything here has jet lag. They're all California grown.
Bauernmärkte. Eigentlich sind es Biomärkte. Sie sind das A und O für Alice Waters. Farmer aus der Umgebung bieten biologisch angebaute Produkte an. Ein florierendes Geschäft in Kalifornien, im restlichen Amerika so gut wie unbekannt.
Tell me something about Alice Waters.
I don't know Alice personally, but Christy does, the farmer. What do you want to know about Alice?
You know her?
Alice Waters?
Yes.
Not well. I mean, I recognize her. She doesn't call me up for advice or anything, but she says hi when she sees me.
She's my inspiration. She really revolutionized cuisine, food in America. She's awesome. So just the fresh thing, the organic thing, the local thing, the keep it simple and you know, take something beautiful and make something simple out of it rather than covering up junk with more junk. She actually had a big influence on me.
Is it really so exceptional?
What?
Is it really so exceptional?
Well, when she started, it was. She was it. It hadn't happened in this country before. You know, Europe. I mean, obviously you're not from here, so in Europe, get something fresh, get it organic, get it local, and do something simple with it was around. America was, junk food kingdom. So yeah, when she started here, it was exceptional, very exceptional.
It expresses all the values that come with the food, and so you get to know the people who are growing it and all that are locally growing, and they bring their organic produce here, and it's the best tasting, and it's supporting a whole agriculture.
She's good for the business, good for the industry, whether it's seafood, whether it's naturally grown beef, produce, whatever. She's getting the word out, and it's good for all of us.
Is slow food movement, is it so important?
Well, not if you're hungry. If you're hungry, it doesn't matter.
Organic, wie die Amerikaner Bio nennen, hat seinen Preis. Billig kann man hier nicht einkaufen.
Is it not too expensive for average American citizens?
Well, San Francisco's not average American citizens. It isn't. People here are foodies, and they like to eat good food, and so no, I mean, we have all different sizes, and maybe we lose a few customers to Costco, but those are not the people who would pay $4 a pint for organic strawberries as opposed to 69 cents for not organic. So, if that kind of price point is somebody's consideration, then there you have it.
Also, if you're eating a lot of chemicals and things like that over time, I think your body protests by getting degenerative disease, so then you go get to pay for your chemo and all of that. So, and to clean up the environment. People don't think about how much that's going to cost later. With organic produce, you do pay more generally up front, but that's where the buck stops.
We never pay the real cost of food. We haven't paid the real cost of food, and we need to pay it.
But, do you think you can expect an average housewife to pay more money on the farmer's market than she would pay in the supermarket?
Well, she's buying a lot more than the food. She's buying the future for her children. She's buying a kind of beauty and aliveness in the food. She's buying something that's really nourishing. And in that sense, it's well worth it. It's inexpensive.
The difference between Waterman and Ambulance is $600. Oh, get it now.
I think anybody can go and shop at the farmer's market. That's the beauty of it, is that it's very democratic.
Demokratisch für den, der es sich leisten kann. Folgt man Alice Waters, würde man irgendwann glauben, nur auf Bauernmärkten gibt es ordentliches Obst und Gemüse. Stimmt aber nicht. Die Preise allerdings sind hier 1/4 bis 1/3 niedriger. Anderthalb Stunden Autofahrt nördlich von San Francisco liegt die Farm von Bob Canard. Seit über 20 Jahren liefert er exklusiv Obst und Gemüse an Chez Panisse. Organic, versteht sich. Das ist Bob.
I mean, he could take his produce and just take it down to the Santa Rosa Farmers Market. And it would be, he'd probably sell it all there. But he's a teacher, and I think he likes educating us as well.
One of the rules of natural process farming is nature is perfect, and the less you do, the less you have to do. Can you focus in on this rock? Here is one typical rock that comes from the earth This rock is rounded corners. This rock is volcanic in nature. On the inside of the rock, we can see the zone where it's been digested. Here it's been eaten away and digested, and all of the minerals come from the rock and into the life of the animals. On the inside of the rock, very hard. I don't know if you can hear the difference through this recording, but this is the noise of the inside against the tip of the knife. This is the noise of the outside. There are all of the elements of the earth in this rock. There is gold and platinum and silver and every other element, potassium and phosphorus and iron and zinc and boron. Everything is in here. Here is the same rock, same kind of rock, reduced to very fine powder. This material, 2800 mesh. Now here the plant can get this mineral nutrient. And we'll take this rock and apply it to the garden. And here we have an example of, we always in the garden grow two crops. One crop to feed people and one crop to feed the nature of soil. The nature of soil has to get fed. If the nature of soil does not get fed, then the digestive force declines. So we always grow two things, side by side, one for people, one for nature. No dust, no dirt, no erosion or loss of the soil. This soil gets stronger on an annual basis. Very important. And if we have all of the things together, then the genetic material, the organization of the cardoon plant or the spinach or the tomato or whatever it is, comes to perfection. And it has fullness of its body. And when it gets fullness of its body, it has no internal hunger, and it develops etheric sweetness, a sweetness that makes the plant taste very good and brings kind of a dream condition of contentment to the table that you've eaten from. In this country, we have about 10% of our total gross product of the nation is food, and about 20% of our gross nation product is health care. And we spend more money on trying to keep ourselves healthy than we do on feeding ourselves. And if we had good food, then we wouldn't need to spend all this money on health care. There's more money spent on litigation for the lawyers than there is on growing the food. No, it's a very mixed up culture. And someday the fast food industry will become recognize their error, and their population will, if we are successful in getting people to understand the nature of nature and of the need of good food, then a place like McDonald's will be serving a good product instead of a poor quality product.
My job title right today is the pasta lettuce person, so I do pasta and I wash lettuces. So there's one person to guarantee that they do the work and they make sure all of the lettuces look beautiful, there's no wilty pieces. So when you come here and eat, as to other places, I guess, you can tell that the lettuces are taken care of, and you won't find rotting pieces. You will find always a good garden lettuce salad.
I grow the stuff. A lot of times they are after very baby vegetable. But to me, baby vegetable hasn't developed its full flavor and character yet, and that's very important for me. I'm the farmer, and my goal is to bring the cleanest, highest energy food to the table as possible, and it's their job to prepare it.
And with Bob, sometimes the leaves are a little too big, so you gotta get rid of a lot of them. And this one's a little wilty, so we won't even use it. But something like this will take the tops off and just the very end pieces, because otherwise the lettuces would be too big and you wouldn't be able to serve them. And it's always fresh. Sometimes you'll find little worms on it, actually. That's how fresh it is. Sometimes you'll find, let me show you a piece, like things around the edges, like bad looking pieces, rotting pieces can't get through. Otherwise, you know, a customer will see that and it'll be sort of ugly. And sometimes actually a few pieces do get through. And then if it gets to a table that Alice is sitting at, she'll definitely come over and remind the salad person to pick through the lettuce a little more carefully.
You also insist on how the salad has to be washed.
I do. Well, when we first opened the restaurant, it took 8 hours to wash the salad because we took every single leaf and it was in the water, and then we used the spinner to dry it, this little spinner. Then we laid out each leaf separately on the towel, and we, just like that, every single leaf had its own little bed. We've become less obsessed than we used to be, but I really think it's not enough just to spin it dry. I think it needs to be laid on the towels just to completely take away the water.
Nicht jeder kann sich ein Menü von rund $70 bei Chez Panisse leisten. Ab wann ist Pizza eigentlich Fast Food? Die Wertstoffsammelstelle. Schriller Kontrast, nur wenige Meter vom Chez Panisse entfernt.
Do you know where they get their bottles and cans and everything?
Most of them have routes that they do each day. They get up early in the morning, or either they work at night, and they just go around the particular route and collect whatever. And then, when I open, they're here waiting for me. But they have it down.
Eat more fast food?
Sorry to say, yeah, I do, yeah. When I'm at lunch, I eat more fast food. Hamburgers or Chinese food or, whatever, any kind of fast food restaurant, But mostly at lunch. When I'm at home, I usually eat a cooked meal.
What do you mean by cooking meal? Really cooking or microwave cooking?
Really cooking. Real cooking.
What's your favorite meal?
Spaghetti. I love spaghetti. I'm a pretty good spaghetti chef myself. Yeah.
How do you make them?
How do I make it? Oh man, it's not the same way every time, but you mean you want me to tell you? Tomato paste, tomato sauce, maybe Prego or something like that. I brown the ground beef first. Then I maybe garlic and bell peppers, onions, chop them up in the sauce, simmer the sauce, put the ground beef and the sauce together, cook the pasta, and then add the sauce onto the spaghetti, the pasta, when it's done. And then after the first go around, then I just put it all together in one big pot. And it lasts for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days.
You ever think about buying organic tomatoes?
My neighbor grows tomatoes, and I get tomatoes from him. He grows green tomatoes, red tomatoes, whatever. So I get tomatoes from my neighbor.
I realized that Chez Panisse couldn't be a little island, idyllic little island unto itself, that we were connected to all the people around us and in a way to everybody else on this planet. That you had to for the preservation of this idea, that it really meant that you had to bring other people into this vision.
What is all this bread for?
We're doing an event today in Bolinas, which is a town just up the coast, maybe an hour and a half from here. We had an auction for the Japanese Foundation, and someone donated a good amount of money. And the prize was that Alice, Cal, and I would cook a dinner for them tonight.
Bolinas an der Pazifikküste war früher eine legendäre Hippie-Hochburg. Heute sind die Hippies von damals wohlhabende und anständige amerikanische Bürger.
Pete.
Yeah. Susie.
Wie Susi, die mal Besitzerin von Esprit und North Face war.
And I saw it in the bakery, and I said, oh my goodness, I have to have that. And it was hanging up, and I said, well, I have a friend who bakes, and I want to bring him a present. And they climbed up on the ladder, they took it down.
Did they?
More than I expected. Thank you. I told you
When they do this one, right?
It's just magic.
It is.
This goes over so that doesn't like.
But is that like?
That's just nothing.
Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
How can you tell us just the story how you won?
It was an incredible story. I was at a Bolinas Museum auction in the big barn with my husband and about 10 friends at a table. And there was the raffle for this dinner. And everyone was, of course, buying 5 and 6 and 10 and 20 tickets. And I said, I'm buying 1 ticket. And I told my friends, I'm going to win it. And of course, everyone laughed. And the time came for the drawing, and Alice drew the first ticket, and she had 2 in her hand, so she had to put them back and drop them from the fishbowl. The second time she drew, it was my name.
What was the garden like when you first came here?
I think it was a trailer park. I believe it was. At least the putting green was a trailer park, I can tell you that.
But there were a lot more flowers and vegetables.
Killed the bobcats, killing them, you've got to get them. So I go up the hill, crawling over the berry bushes. Over the berry bushes.
Oh.
Yeah, my little darling. Yes.
And then we're going to do something quite bombastic.
How long?
1 hour. Until it gets nice and brown on the fruit's cooked and the edges get brown.
That with paper
hopefully
towel,
crispy
please.
underneath.
Very Japanese classic.
Yeah.
We cooked this lamb dish when we cooked for President Clinton. And I have to say, for a fast food guy, he loved this lamb. I mean, he ate every little bite of it and asked for seconds. So we were impressed.
Sally called and she got the word. She said, I suppose you heard about Alice.
What about the fact that at this moment it's especially the poorest in American society who are living from cheap fast food?
Well, I think we have to learn now how to create the better, the healthier food, the more natural food, to make it more accessible to people that can't really afford it now. They can't afford it now because it does cost more money. And so we have to try to help them understand that it's more important to spend a little bit more and have something that's good for you. I mean, you just have to look at America and you see the problem we have.
People are getting the idea that, and in fact business is getting the idea that if you eat the wrong foods and you end up with obesity, that cancer and diabetes and other problems come up, and it's not good for business, it's not good for the person. So that's what I think about American eating habits.
So you entered Alice's church.
I entered her church and I kneel at that altar every day. And now I'm...
Now I can eat the whole bone.
This is it. This is the essence of what you're doing here.
It's really great.
I wish I had a camera, Fletcher. I know. Is this what I'm doing? Room and the price kept going up. And she said she didn't know the procedure. She asked me.
I've never heard of this one.
How is the salad?
Is it?
I think it's divine. I do. But it was just picked this afternoon, right out there in that garden. And it has that kind of life in it. So it's special because of that.
The grapes are,
and as you can see, very simply dressed.
Around Watsonville, which would include.
How long did you wash it?
Hazan. I'm very sad I didn't wash it myself. The gardener washed the salad, and she didn't dry it in the usual way. But she's forgiven because she grew it so beautifully.
Some of them just aren't worth it to realize how
How bad is the obesity problem?
Well, the obesity problem is serious. I think the numbers are 2/3 of Americans are overweight, and a quarter or a fifth of Americans are truly obese. Children, the rates of childhood of diabetes that's caused by not genetic diabetes but type 2 diabetes is soaring. People who studied demographers and sociologists say this may be the first generation in American history, the children today, who will have a shorter lifespan than their parents. All through American history, every generation has lived longer than their parents. We are in the process of reversing that, and diabetes will be the reason. Why are children getting diabetes? Obesity and eating too much sugar, too much soda in particular. So it's a serious health problem. It's a much more serious health problem the further down the socioeconomic scale you go. When you look at upper middle class Americans, you do not see lots of obesity. You see obesity when you go to the ghettos. You see obesity among people who don't have any money. So to say the whole population suffers from this problem isn't quite true. It's very much a class problem. And in this country, the less money you have, the fatter you are.
3 Milliarden Dollar geben die Fastfood-Ketten jährlich für Werbung aus. Fastfood ist vom Bildschirm nicht mehr wegzudenken. Geworben wird vor allem mit dem Preisargument.
Ya lo ves con el Super Value Menu, Wendy's es el mejor lugar para salir a comer con la familia de una forma económica. En Wendy's comer es
80% der amerikanischen Familien essen längst nicht mehr gemeinsam zu Hause, wie es die Werbung vorgaukelt. Und wo geben die Amerikaner die Hälfte ihres Budgets fürs Essen aus? Raten Sie mal. Nirgendwo auf der Welt gibt es so viele Fastfood-Ketten, die im Grunde alle das Gleiche anbieten. Pommes, eine Form von verarbeitetem Fleisch und Cola oder Limonade. Durchschnittlich isst der Amerikaner 3 Hamburger und 4 Portionen Pommes pro Woche.
Chicken selects. None for you. Touch my chicken. You're grounded for life. Whoa! Are you getting close to my chicken?
Besonders Marktführer McDonald's wirbt ganz gezielt bei Kindern mit seinen Produkten.
Chicken selects come with something you can share. A chance to experience Walt Disney World with your friends and family.
And there's all this advertisement that comes with that food on all the media. And they're at the mercy of it. And their parents are too busy to have meals with them anymore, and they aren't learning a set of values. So I feel like I just, yeah, go ahead.
Dies war einmal ein Parkplatz. Heute ist es der Gemüsegarten der King Junior Middle School. Die Schüler sollen hier lernen, dass Tomaten für Ketchup und Kartoffeln für Pommes nicht das einzige Gemüse auf der Welt sind. Mit der Ernte aus ihrem Garten lernen die Kinder auch kochen, dank der Chez Panisse Foundation. Die Lehrer, die hier unterrichten, sind Angestellte von Alice Waters.
We're making a salad, but this is kind of an interesting salad because it's made up of some raw vegetables and some cooked vegetables. And it's called salad niçoise.
I think we have to have an interactive kind of experiential education going on around food. And it's the way that we're going to change the world, is that we engage the kids and they're awakened by it and learn how important it is to be citizens of this country and of the world and learn how to work with each other.
You push down. Push down. Okay, these are the new ones, you guys. Can I just show you how cool? How you would put your you need to wash your lettuce.
And now they're putting on the plates.
Ooh, very good. Okay, that looks good. How much water did we get?
So you're spinning the salad right now? Hello. Hi, my name's Ilani. I'm not sure who you are. What's your name?
I'm Alice Waters.
You're Alice Waters? Oh my gosh.
Very nice to meet you.
So, why are you here at the Edible Schoolyard?
Because I have been part of this project since the very beginning, and I came over to see what you were doing today, to see what you were cooking. And I'm so delighted that you seem excited about the food. Are you excited about the food?
Yeah.
How do you like me, honey? You know that? How do you like me?
Okay, fix us some more.
See, when they salad just gonna be better than all. What y'all using? Y'all
You want to do this?
I know.
It smells good though. It smells good.
It's like sugar.
Smell it. It's very good.
No, not yet. I gotta
Smell it.
wait until
It's not done,
9:45.
though.
I have to wait until.
What kind of fast food do you like?
I like Burger King, Jack in the Box, and KFC.
You don't like McDonald's?
A little bit. I used to like it a lot.
What's the difference between McDonald's and Burger King?
Burger King, their stuff is more fire grilled. Like it's grilled, and like their fries taste better. Yeah, but they cost more, but better.
No. You're getting your stinky breath on the eggs. Hi, Shanice. What are you doing? I'm grating eggs. Really? Oh.
You cook a lot at home yourself?
Yeah, me and my mom together.
What kind of cooking do you do? Really cooking, or is it more like microwave cooking?
Real cooking.
And you?
Real cooking and microwave cooking. And microwave. Angelia! She's asking you a question.
Do you often eat fast food?
Yeah, sometimes. My auntie giving me a diet.
How often do you eat fast food?
Not that much. I just ate fast food yesterday. Twice.
What? What did you eat?
Popeyes and Jack in the Box. It was okay. My grandpa bought me some McDonald's, and then when I went home for dinner, my mom made some spaghetti.
What was better?
The spaghetti.
Knife. Wait.
Here's some anchovies for the brave souls.
1, 2.
Yeah, so you guys can start.
The fork is messed up.
What's your favorite food?
It's my favorite food. I love salad. So it's really great today because you have a salad niçoise. You have this, the egg and the tuna and the olives and the lettuce. And I'm very excited to taste it today.
You brought it from home?
Uh-huh.
Why?
Cook. I always bring it.
Why?
Because, you know, sometimes food be dry and stuff. So, gotta have the hot sauce.
Are you allowed to put it here on your salad?
I don't know. I hope so.
You don't like it?
Yes.
What don't you like about it?
A little.
Give me some of that.
The kids invited me to sit down at the table, and were excited that I was going to sit with them, and they all talked about what they were grateful for, and a number of them said, I'm grateful that you started the Edible Schoolyard. So it's really so satisfying, so really important to me to hear that.
Sieht aus wie Fast Food, oder?
Is that here the school meal? Because I see all the kids with this.
Yeah.
You can buy it here at school or what?
Yeah. And there's other food. $3 for Dimitri. Hi, Jazzy.
You like it?
Dimitri. Huh?
You like it?
Dimitri. I like the salad.
Dimitri isn't
the
worth
pizzas. Sometimes it's stale,
No.
but it's pretty good.
Yeah. What's your favorite meal?
Pizza.
Pizza.
Yeah.
I knew that.
Oh yeah, and my favorite food is barbecue chicken, also with corn on the cob and mashed potatoes.
Do you ever eat fast food?
Of course. I thought fast food. Ooh, chicken nuggets, Burger King, French fries, ketchup, lots of ketchup.
Yeah, I eat like 5 times a week or something.
Every day a week or something? Damn, it's
Damn.
a lot.
I'm
having
on a weekend.
You overruled me. I'm out of that category.
What do you eat when you eat fast food?
Usually it's hamburgers and fries or chicken nuggets
I'm
and
in.
tacos.
I'm in. I'm in.
Or chicken too.
I would like to invite her this Saturday to come and to eat at Chez Panisse, at the Chez Panisse Cafe, and so that she can taste this dinner there or lunch there, and tell what the kind of experience this is for her, what she tastes.
Well, I don't think it's going to be a very I'm afraid it's going to be that kind of experience of Berkeley High School. It's very difficult to bring somebody into Chez Panisse who hasn't experienced anything like that before. I'm not sure how valuable that interview could be with a young girl, unless she was a remarkable person who in fact had these taste buds that were well developed, and she had a certain curiosity about this, and it just happened to click. Really, this is off the tape, but I don't see the value in doing that.
I don't understand what you are afraid of. I mean, if
I'm not afraid. I'm afraid, just as I said, that I'm not sure. I don't like I don't like the sort of cultural, racial, economic implications of bringing a little
you know, an 8th grade African American kid into Chez Panisse. Why don't you take her and take her up to Bob's farm?
You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant, excepting Alice at Alice's